Hello, everybody. Welcome to the K&M 495 Sportscast. My name is Kyle. I'm here with Mike Reed. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We got a big week in DC sports here. We got the Capitals just advancing. We got the Nationals playing out of their minds. We got the Whiz Kids getting ready to play Game 4 tonight in Atlanta. And we got the NFL Draft this week.
Oh, man, we have to get into the Caps first. I mean, what a series.
Oh, I know. They love to stop your heart, man.
They really do. I mean, they were down 2-1, and everyone wanted to jump ship and say, oh, here we go again. But no, man, they fought it out, and they sealed it, and they ended it in Toronto. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
Oh, yeah. You definitely couldn't have. Johansson played out of his mind.
Yeah. I mean, everyone expects it to be a sweep, but you have to understand this is the NHL playoffs. There's a reason why Toronto made the playoffs. Yeah, it's just because they are good.
It's a Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the most competitive playoff of all the major sports. It really is.
And the funny thing is, last week we talked about how we were happy that Matthews didn't get many looks the first two games. I mean, man, did that guy turn it on. They got really lucky with some bounces, but I mean, they made the most of it.
Yeah. One thing, I mean, especially just last game, the Leafs came out more physical. I feel like they were a lot more physical the entire series.
Yeah, their hits were a lot more, which was something that I said that we needed to do, but Toronto actually went out and did it.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, just the last game, the Leafs had 45 hits to Caps 38. I mean, that's the Capitals they're such a good team. They really are. Just all around, the Capitals are a very good team. I mean, during the regular season, we know we've heard all the things about them collapsing in the postseason, but that was a huge series for them to win.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people, I know a lot of fans, even though they weren't ever out of it, a lot of fans did feel like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And the funny thing is that the Toronto fans were actually more pessimistic than Washington fans were. They were saying, just wait, you guys are going to take it. And Washington fans like, no, here we go again. Well, it turns out the Caps went and did their job, and they finished it.
We did take it. And that sets up a huge matchup next round between us and the Penguins.
I mean, it's crazy because you look at this Toronto series and you look at these stats. I mean, they are eerily similar. I mean, they are almost the same exact stats. In the overall series, the Caps had 18 goals. The Leafs had 16. The Caps had 212 shots. The Leafs had 213.
Wow.
I mean, they were just so matched up perfectly. I mean, you can say that the Caps should have done better, but you have, like we said last week, you have to give respect to this Toronto team.
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, 5 of the games went to overtime.
Yeah.
5 of them, that's amazing.
Six one-goal. All 6 games were one-goal games.
That's ridiculous.
That's great hockey. That's
crazy.
That's great television.
It is.
Exactly
that's what you want to see. That's what, as a fan, you want to see that. I mean, that's great for the NHL. That's another thing. Next round's matchup against the Penguins, not only is that a huge rivalry, you got the Ovi versus Crosby, it's huge for the fans, but that's even bigger for the NHL.
Oh, yeah.
To see this for a second straight year, and this is really where the Capitals need to start proving themselves against this team that bounced them last year.
And the way that they match up the playoffs is really weird because for some reason you'd want the 2 best teams to play in the championship of the conference, and for some reason they're matching up in the second round. But I mean, it's going to be great hockey. I cannot wait for it. I don't go in viewing it as a pessimistic view, saying, I know we're going to lose. Let's just go in happy. Let's enjoy this ride that we're about to be on.
Yeah. And I mean, if the Capitals, this is a big if, I don't want to put anything out there. I don't want to put any bad juju on the Capitals, but if they do win this series, then they're going to face either the Rangers or the Senators. The Capitals are a better team than both of those.
Yeah.
They really are.
I mean, they are the best team in the NHL.
They are.
And we can both agree on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not even a question.
No, absolutely. My MVP of the series had to be Wilson. I mean, that guy balled out for us.
Yes, Wilson was amazing.
He saved the series, I believe, on one play, and that's when he dove behind Holtby and blocked that puck and put it back in between Holtby's legs to stop that goal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we went out. He went and scored 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
They were saying that was the best 20 seconds of Tom Wilson's career.
And that's what you look for in the playoffs. You look for people to step up like that to do something amazing.
That is a championship play. That could have completely turned around the entire playoffs for the Capitals.
Oh, exactly. It definitely did. I feel like it definitely did. The Capitals, we all know about, I mean, everybody always wants the DC sports curse, but this Capitals team is really good. This isn't your average Capitals team. This isn't the same team as last year. I mean, they're going to be tested in this series big time.
Absolutely.
I mean, Penguins are very, very good.
It's like the little brother, big brother mindset.
Yeah.
Because the Penguins are 8-1 against the Caps going in playoffs.
Wow.
For series.
Wow.
The last time the Caps won against them was in 94.
94.
Yeah. So they have our number. So you always talk about to get there, you got to beat the best. You know, and even though the Penguins aren't better, it's the mental aspect of it. They have to beat them. If they beat the Penguins, I really believe that they're going to make it to Stanley Cup Finals.
I do too. I'm 100% on board with that. If they do, if they can't pull it off against the Penguins, which by the way, I do think was going to go the distance. I do believe it's going to go 6 or 7 games. And Capitals fans, if we get down a little bit in this series, we can't start losing faith. I know it's going to be hard because you've seen it so many times, but just trust us when we say this is not the same Capitals team as in years past. This is a very talented team. This is one of their last chances to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah. One guy you also have to give a lot of credit to is Justin Williams. Justin Williams' career in games 5 through 7 is 16 goals and 21 assists in 45 games. His teams are 27 and 18.
Wow.
In games 5 through 7. That is amazing. The guy just has that clutch trigger, and he just turns it right on every time.
Yeah, Williams at Carlson had the assist in overtime, actually. So, I mean, that's
in Game
huge.
5, Justin Williams had the winner in overtime.
Yeah. He playing out his mind.
He just shows up. He just knows the right plays to do. He just goes that extra mile, like Wilson did. And that is what championship teams do. They find a way to win.
Yeah.
And you just have to love what the Caps are giving us right now. They're giving us their heart.
You do, and I mean, it's going to take your heart from you, especially all these games, man. They're so close, but I have a feeling this is going to be one of those things where you look back on it, you're going to love the ride, but while you're on it, you hate it.
Yeah.
You definitely do, because I mean, your DC's teams are just known for giving you heart attacks and disappointing, but I'm hoping, I'm praying, like I said, I don't want to put anything on this Capitals team, but it feels different. It's got a different feel about it, and I know people say that every year, but this time, statistically, it is different. It is.
I know that Wilson is the MVP of the series. That's in my opinion. But the second runner-up had to be Oshie. I mean, this guy's on the penalty kill. He's on the offensive playing with Ovechkin, leading assists, getting goals. I mean, that guy he's just a mauler. He just is everywhere, and he just makes clutch plays, blocking pucks, blocking shots, and just making sure that it's always in transition. I mean, we just have a great team right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We have to just really enjoy this upcoming series. I mean, we're about to see some amazing hockey.
This, like I said, this is literally what you want to see if you're a hockey fan in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
You do want to see this. I mean, it does suck that it's in round 2, but this is why the Stanley Cup playoffs is what it is. It's so big. Yeah. I mean, it's besides the only other one, it's not even a pro sport. March Madness is the only thing that you can kind of compare to the type of energy that it has. But for the pro sports, Stanley Cup playoffs is it. It's just amazing. A lot of people don't get into hockey until the Stanley Cup playoffs. Yeah. That's all that they're watching. So,
I mean, Holtby came out and said that the first couple games he was kind of surprised in the first period they came out fast. He wasn't expecting it, but he really sat down and solidified in that back end, and he really did a lot for us. I mean, only allowing 1 goal last game.
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, Holtby definitely got better as the series progressed. Yeah, I know that there was some talk, all over the place about how Holtby was how poorly he was playing compared to the type of goalie that he is and the type of player that he is. But that last game, he was money.
He was making some great saves.
37 saves. Yeah, on 38 shots.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, and look at the Caps and look at their numbers this year. Their goals against are first overall, but the Pens are first overall in goals scored.
Yeah.
So we're about to see a very nice matchup.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very exciting. When is Game 1's Thursday, right?
Yes. And then, so the Caps are third in the NHL in goals scored, but the Pens are 17th in goals against. So it's there. It's possibly there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's huge right there for the Capitals. That's why I do think that the Capitals will take this series. I'm praying. I hope so. Please, just give us one winning team.
Yeah. We said in the last week that the Caps had, because of how the scoring was based on their points scored and what the Leafs gave up, that they were going to be able to get the puck on net without the power play. But we saw they needed the power play, right? They absolutely needed it. And it's the playoffs. That's what you do. Yeah. But the Pens have a 17th overall in penalty kill. And then the power play for the Caps is third overall. Okay. So they have the major advantage there.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can get it going. And let's start out with some leads,
Oh yeah.
Let's start out this series with some leads.
You don't want to fall behind, especially you don't want to get down in the dumps against this Penguins team.
No. And I just want if it's Wilson, if it's Ovechkin, somebody just in the first period, the first game against the Pens, just somebody come up and hit the heck out of Mason Crosby.
Oh yeah.
Just put him on his back. Just make Frieden Center go wild.
If there's one person in the world that I just do not like. He just has one of those faces that you just want to hit. It's Crosby. I just hate everything about him.
Ugly
He's
mustache.
a great player. He's the best player in the world.
The 80s porn star mustache.
Yeah, and it's like some people can pull that off, but like you look like you're like 18 years old. Like, come on, man. I'm just
Sidney Crosby looks like the kid that used to get bullied in high school but was just good at hockey.
He definitely was bullied. I mean, you don't have the name Sidney as a boy and not get bullied.
It's true, man. But I feel really happy for Wilson because Wilson grew up in Toronto. And he had said before Game 6 that he wanted this game in Toronto and how special that was for him.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And the Leafs coach actually came out before the series and was talking about Wilson, saying they weren't worried about Wilson. Wilson was just another guy. Well, he proved that you should have been worried about him.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the guy is just a straight-out baller. He'd come up and hit you, and for some reason, the puck was just going into the net for him, and you just got to be excited about this matchup coming up this week.
I'm so pumped. You have no idea. I know so many Penguins fans, and I'm going to completely just block them on social media as this series is going on. I don't want to hear it.
Well, I really think that the Leafs helped the Capitals get ready, like, so they weren't complacent, you know? Like, they're ready now. Like, they understand that this is the way you have to play. And you saw that in the last 3 games. They stepped their game up.
They definitely stepped up.
And
oh, yeah.
They weren't lax anymore. They were like, okay, we have to go out and do this. It's not going to just be given to us. And that's exactly what we need against the Pens, because Toronto is the fastest team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And so going against the Pens, it really helped us out. And so you're going to see it kind of get balanced, and maybe the Caps just come out faster.
I hope so. I hope so. I think that's a huge key. I mean, look at last game. Look at Game 6. There wasn't a goal scored until the third period.
Yeah.
There wasn't a goal scored until the third period. Matthews had his goal at 7:45.
Which was a crazy, awkward bounce.
Exactly.
Just Washington sports for you.
You kind of get that feeling. You're like, oh, great.
Well, Toronto had gotten those types of goals all series. They were just getting the bounces, and the Caps weren't. I mean, you're talking about guys getting their sticks slapped out of their hands, broken sticks, and they're getting goals scored on them, and that rarely ever happens so much in a series.
That goes into what we were talking about. I mean, even during the regular season, it's not like the Capitals were actually getting beat.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I mean, some statistics they didn't lead in, but it's not like the goals, I mean, it wasn't just like they just messed up. Like, there was a lot of lucky bounces in there for Toronto.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There was a lot of stuff. The Capitals were not getting beat as much as it was just shit was happening, you know?
Yeah. You got to give to Johansson. I mean, wow, what a game yesterday. I mean, that guy just gave the extra mile to get those goals.
Goal to tie it up, and then the game winner in overtime.
Just fighting in front of the net, doing exactly what you do in the playoffs to win, and that's what championship teams do. They find a way to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think that overtime last night was the best hockey of the playoffs so far for the Capitals. I mean, they were always in their zone. They did not let that thing go past.
I would agree. I would definitely agree on that.
They were playing fast. They were getting the ball. They were getting the puck right down the low behind their zone, behind their goal, and they were just working them.
They were controlling the game. I mean, that's what the Capitals do so well, is they always seem to control the game. They're always in control, and that's going to be huge. It was huge in this series, as you saw in overtime. It's going to be even bigger against the Penguins. They're going to have to. I mean,
this is a veteran club that knows what to do in the playoffs. So this is going to be a boxing match.
Yeah.
And each team is going to be throwing haymakers, and you got to be able to have that steel jaw to stay in the cage.
Yeah. I mean, as good as the Penguins are, they're not the same team as they were last year.
No,
they've lost some big pieces.
Yeah,
they really have. So you got to, and we've added some pieces. So,
I just don't want to see the Caps downplay and go to their level.
Oh, yeah.
I want the Caps to stay at the level they are and to consistently play there. And if they do that, nobody can beat them.
Nobody can. Oh yeah. I mean, that's such. It's not even just a Capitals thing. It's such a DC sports thing.
Yeah,
we always played our opponent, no matter what.
It's true. Like back in the day with the Redskins, the Redskins would always beat the team that they weren't supposed to beat and lose the easy games.
Yeah, I mean,
that's DC sports.
It's just typical. It is DC sports, and it's sad and it's frustrating.
Yeah,
but like I said, for this coming series, just enjoy the ride. Just love it.
Washington really needs Holtby to come out. Maybe just one game. Just give me a shutout. I asked for it last game. I understand how hard and difficult that is. But if you can do that, do you understand how much that does for our team?
Yeah. Holtby is such a good goalie. One of the best in the NHL.
Yeah.
He does need to step up a little bit and continue to play from the last game. Like he needs to ride this hot streak.
Anderson was shut down this series for Toronto.
Yes.
I mean, it was unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, it made Brandon look mediocre, you know? And you weren't realizing how good Brandon Holtby was being that whole series because Anderson was doing the same exact thing.
Yeah. He was playing that much better. And that's the thing, man. In the playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, there's always every team has one person who's just stepping up and who's just going to play amazing and he's going to do everything.
And Justin Williams is that guy for us. I mean, that guy is getting down low, doing the dirty work, doing everything possible, and you have to give a lot of credit to Johansson. I mean, man, what a couple plays that completely change. I mean, imagine if he didn't make those 2 plays right now, we would be sitting waiting for Tuesday night for another game 7 in Washington.
Do you know how much Xanax prescriptions would be filled that day for that game?
A whole lot of liquor would be poured.
That would be terrible. Thank God that's over, and thank God we advanced to the next round.
Yeah, I mean, people will talk about and say that the Caps struggled and they did poorly against Toronto, but let's not think about that. Let's just acknowledge the fact that Toronto came out firing on all cylinders and played amazing. They played great hockey.
Don't take anything away from Toronto.
Yeah, no analyst is coming out and saying, well, Capitals messed up this whole series. The analysts will come out and saying, wow, Toronto is playing great right now.
Yeah. Toronto, I mean, they got hot at the right time. That's all it takes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I mean, how many teams that were in the top seeds, 1 or 2 seeds, that lost already in the Stanley Cup playoffs? I mean, it just happens.
That's just the way it works. You never know what's going to happen in the Stanley Cup playoffs, but let's get into the Wizards a little bit here. How disappointing was the way that they came out in Game 3?
Yeah, I can't even say it's like disappointing the way they came out. It's just the baskets weren't dropping.
See, exactly. The Hawks did not beat the Wizards. Yeah. It's not like they were playing great defense and they were just forcing a lot of turnovers and missed shots. It was just one of those nights where nothing would fall. And I mean, that happens with shooters all the time. Bradley Beal's in a funk. You just shoot through it. I
remember coming into the house and turning on the TV. I guess like 5 minutes had passed our time. Not in the game time, but our time 5 minutes had passed. I walked in and turned on the TV, and it's like 18-3. Yeah. So what happened? And that's just, I thought that I was waiting. Okay, Atlanta's going to drop off. They're going to stop making everything. They're going to chill out. The Wizards are going to come back a little bit, get within 10. No, they just kept making everything.
And literally at the 6:30 mark of that game, the Wizards were 2 of 12 from the floor. Yeah. Atlanta was 8 of 11.
Yeah, and then John Wall just got a board, had everyone stand on it, and then just put him on his shoulders and carried the entire game.
Uncharacteristically, though, he did miss a couple free throws early on in that game, and I mean,
he's never been a good free throw shooter.
Surprisingly, he has a higher average free throw than Bradley Beal.
Really?
Yeah, you would never guess that.
I would never guess that.
He does, because Beal's always known as the shooter. And I mean, speaking of shooters, I mean, in that same time frame when we were 2 for 12, we were 0 for 3 from 3. Atlanta was 3 for 3. Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, they were. I think they were like 7 of 9 at one point. I remember seeing it was amazing. They were just making everything, and we couldn't make a dang shot. Yeah. But then John just said, "You know what? I remember Schroeder made a 3-pointer, and John immediately got the rebound in from inbounds and ran down the court, did it behind the back through the paint, and then dunked it on
left
him.
Hand.
You could just tell he was pissed off the way they were playing. He was like, I'm tired of this.
Well, did you see what he did after that? He stared down Schrader. Yeah. He just stared at him. Yeah. He said some stuff. I'm not going to repeat what he said, but from reading his lips, it looked like Wall balled out, though. I mean, that buzzer beater to end the first. I mean, we ended the first on a 7-0 run. It just wasn't enough. At the end of the first, Atlanta led 38-20. And I mean, Schrader had 15 points in the first quarter. Wall had 14. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the Wizards only made 1 3-pointer, and that was Wall's buzzer beater in that quarter.
Yeah, in the first 2 games, Wall had 32 points each game. And then in that third game, I think it was in the halfway through the second, I think I saw that he had like 24 points. Yeah. I mean, that is, like, he doesn't like to shoot all the time. No. But he was the only one making anything, so you know what he did? He put the team on his shoulders and said, let's go do this. But he didn't get any help, and that's just unfortunate.
I know. That's going to be huge going forward, especially because you need Bradley Beal. You do. And Bradley, if your shot is not falling, you need to find a way to score other ways. You need to cut to the basket. You need to get to the hoop. You need to get to the free throw line. That way, then you can visualize shots going into the basket.
But the Wizards aren't getting those calls. I mean, the Wizards are driving the paint and not getting any fouls.
The free throw the margin between the free throws was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Between these two
But
teams. It was like that in game 2.
I hate to make excuses as a Washington fan because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of making excuses of Washington teams in the playoffs and the refs. I'm tired of it. We have to know going into a playoff series in these games that we have to play the refs too. I'm tired of it. Let's just go out and ball out and do well, which the Wizards did in Game 2. I was very proud of them in Game 2.
They did. And game 2, they also got screwed on the free throws in Game 2, and they still ended up coming out on top.
Yeah. So I've noticed what the refs will do is at the beginning of the game, the refs will give a whole bunch of free throws to Atlanta and give barely anything to the Wizards. And then after the half is when they'll start giving it more to the Wizards. So at the end of the game, when you look at the free throws, it looks balanced, but it's nowhere near.
It just... Like you said, Game 2, the Wizards were 24 of 33 from the line. Atlanta was 33 of 38, but the Wizards did not attempt a free throw in the fourth quarter until about the 5-minute mark.
Yeah.
And in that same time period, Atlanta attempted 9.
Yeah.
Like you got to do a better job. John Wall, for being as good as he is at getting to the basket, you got to expect some of those calls. I know it's not coming. I mean, there's a lot of players not getting calls right now. Steph Curry hasn't been getting calls.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to earn your dues.
I agree. I just can't as a Washington fan. I'm just tired.
I'm not going to
the refs. You know,
I would never pin it strictly on that. There's a lot that has been going on.
But the numbers don't lie, and they show that free throws are called free throws for a reason. Exactly. It's because it's easy.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of Game 3, let's see. Let's take a look at some of these stats. Wall had 29 points and 7 assists.
Yeah.
He had 4 rebounds. All of them were defensive.
Yep.
Beal had 12 points. He was 6 of 20 from the floor.
Wow, 6 of 20.
6 of 20. 0 for 6 from beyond the arc.
My goodness.
After Jennings had 13 points.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Bogo had 11.
Bobo did well. He was making his shots.
Those two off the bench did exactly what you could ask. It's just nobody else did anything besides
It was
John
the
Wall.
perfect storm for the Wizards. I mean, nobody was making a shot except for John, and Atlanta was making everything.
And you knew Atlanta was going to come out firing on all cylinders.
Well, I called it last week. As I said, I predicted it in 5. I thought that Atlanta was going to win one game. And that's that one game that, like, everything goes their way.
Yeah.
But now is when the Wizards are pissed off.
Oh, they're coming out heated
They are pissed off because they
to.
knew that was complete crap, and they are a better team than that.
They are. Oh, they're way better. They're way better than that. The Wizards, you know, like I was saying, you knew Atlanta was going to come out hot. You didn't know how hot they're going to come out. You didn't know all that stuff was going to happen, but you knew Atlanta was going to have one game, and I mean, it was game 1 against at their home in front of their fans. You knew they were going to come out. I mean, Paul Millsap dominated. He was getting into it with Morris a lot. I mean, I've been loving to watch that matchup this series.
Because Morris doesn't back down.
No,
I mean, and Millsap is I can't say he's a superstar, but the guy...
He's an all-star. He's made a few all-star teams.
He is a legit contender down there down low.
Game 3, he had 29 points, 14 rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he balled out.
He did. We knew that he was going to be a problem, and the Wizards know that.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with letting Millsap get his points.
I mean, yeah, they've done amazing work. I mean, I know Dwight Howard hasn't been the same player, but I mean, he's like last Game 3, he only had 5 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, that rebounds, of course.
I'm pretty sure if he only had 5 points last game, doesn't that put him at only 22 points in 3 games?
Yeah, it's something like that. It's right around there.
That's good. I mean, we can keep that there. I just can't have Schroeder continuing to make everything like he did in Game 3.
Exactly, and you know, I mean, Schroeder, he's such a streaky player. He really is. Like he will have some games where he looks all-star worthy, and then he'll have some games where he just doesn't show up. And with that matchup, him versus John Wall, I'll take John Wall 10 times out of 10.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure anybody would.
100 times out of 100.
So you know that Wall is not only is he such a good offensive player and a pure point guard, he's so good on the defensive end. He's an energy plug. You know, Schrader's not going to come out and do what he did. Last game he had 27 points, 9 assists. I see him be getting maybe 14 points this game tonight.
I mean, they have to miss some shots sometimes. I mean, they cannot keep that roll going. And I knew that, like,
this isn't the Hawks team from 2 years
because
ago.
being down 2-0, I said they had their back against the wall.
Yeah.
And that's the only game, like, that's that one game that they get, but then everything's lopsided from here on out. I hope. Yeah. I mean, I legit think that the Wizards can close this out in 2 more games. I think they're done.
I do too. Oh, they definitely can. And that, I mean, right now, the Celtics just tied up the series.
Oh yeah,
with the Bulls,
which is very good.
2-2. Yeah, I mean, the Wizards, like we said last, the Wizards will, if we do. I mean, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So have to win 2 more games.
Yeah.
Let's assume that we do win.
Yes.
We match up very well with the Celtics. Mm-hmm. We match up very well with the Bulls.
Yep.
That would be the next series.
And Rajon Rondo is now out indefinitely.
Exactly.
He's got a cast on his hand.
Yeah.
They said, I think, broken thumb. So I would love to go against Chicago just because Rondo is out, and that guy is just potent in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. Did you see during the Bucks game, the Bucks-Raptors games, what the Bucks did to the Raptors? For the Raptors intro, they played the Barney theme song.
Oh, no.
That was all over the internet. That was so funny. I mean, you got to give it to the Bucks. That's funny.
Hilarious.
That's good. That's pretty damn good.
And Toronto likes to talk, man. They don't back down.
They're very good, man. Their backcourt, it's not better than the Wizards.
I like Lowry a lot.
But I do like Lowry and DeRozan.
Yeah, Lowry and DeRozan give us fits.
Yes, they do. They really do.
They are growing, and they are just getting better and better, which I'm scared of because one of these times, one of these free agents are going to come out and say, I want to play with these two and see what we can do.
Oh, yeah. Eventually somebody, especially with the season that DeRozan had, I mean, he's always been good, but this season he kind of took his game to another level.
Yeah.
So with those two players, I mean, they're one player away from really competing seriously in the East. I mean, and you never know. There's a lot of free agents.
I just can't wait for the Wizards. I wanted them to just ball out against Atlanta, just put them in the ground, and of course that can't happen. But now, knowing what Millsap said, now it's personal because Markieff is saying you're a crybaby. You get all the calls, which I can't argue with, but I'm not going to blame it on the refs. I'm just going to say, okay, make sure it's personal because when we come out and don't complain about it being MMA anymore.
Exactly. That we need to come out with Gortat and with Morris. They need to come out just completely just putting their will on Millsap and Howard. They need to just come out, just physical as hell. They do need to continue this MMA thing, as Millsap says, because that really screwed with them. You could tell in game one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that screwed with them
because
the whole series.
we came out game one, and we beat them up. And then so they went to the refs and said, hey, you need to chill this out. And you noticed in game two, they were calling
That's when they were getting
everything.
All the calls.
They were calling everything. Because they wanted you guys, hey, chill out. You can't be doing this.
Yeah.
And then game three happens, and we can't make a shot. So let's come out tonight. And let's bury them. Let's bury them. Let's show them that they do not have a chance against this team. Let's go back to Washington 3-1, and let's put the dagger in them. And let John and the whole team stare them down as they leave the court. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's what I want. Let's get that W in D.C. at Verizon Center.
I mean, wow. I mean, two same teams that play in the same building could possibly be playing in the second round of the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
I just can't wait, dude. We're about to see so many good games this next week.
I'm so excited for DC sports. I mean, we're just everything right now. I mean, a lot of stuff's going right for us, so I mean that's cool. Speaking of stuff going right, let's get in a little bit to the Nationals right now.
All right.
The Nats have won 7 straight games.
Yes. Bryce Harper is leading in every statistical category.
Bryce Harper just won the NL Player of the Week. He was hitting .550 with 3 home runs.
His batting average right now is .400.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
He leads the league. Bryce Harper, he's playing out of his mind. And let's not forget, how about Daniel Murphy showing up against the Mets last night?
He loves to stick it to the Mets.
Playing the Mets. First inning, he had a grand slam. Come on. I mean, I love that. You love the way that they're playing.
Oh, because I can't stand the Mets. I can't stand them one bit.
Neither can I. Oh.
Giannis Cespedes going to come out, not sign with us, and then talk crap about not signing with us. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you remember that.
Yeah.
Get out of here. But Ryan Zimmerman coming into his
Zimmerman is playing just amazing right now.
He's second on the team with a .387 batting average, which is amazing, which is great for Ryan. Ryan needs that confidence.
Zimmerman's 20. He's tied for 22nd in the MLB in batting average, and he's somebody when he gets going, he kind of takes our team to another level.
It's true.
He was the linchpin of our team for a long time.
Yeah.
Before Harper. I mean, we have in the top 25 of batting average, we have 3 players. Harper's number 1, Murphy's number 3, and Zimmerman's 22.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got our bats and our starting pitching. Our starting pitching's doing good. Gio leads our team with an ERA right now. He's 8th in the MLB. He has a 1.35 ERA.
Now he's playing well. I mean, Scherzer last night, did he have 10 strikeouts?
9.
He had 9.
Yes.
Did he go? He went to the 8th, right?
Yeah, he went exactly 8 innings.
I don't like that just because we're asking so much of Scherzer
so early. Yeah, especially coming back
because
from that
our
injury.
bullpen is horrible.
Exactly,
right now.
and that's something that they definitely need to improve on. I mean, that's been for the last couple of seasons. That's really been their weakness. Has been their bullpen.
I really like Sean Kelly coming into the closer role. He's a legit guy. He has that mindset that tough personality to be able to come in and do it. Blake Trinan has all the tools. He has all the right pitches, but he just, for some reason, just can't throw strikes.
Being a closer is such a mental thing. That's why you see all the great ones. They're kind of like rare form, like Mariano Rivera, people like that. It's so much more than just being talented to be a closer. Like, that's why only certain guys are closers. And I mean, that definitely showed up.
I mean, that pressure. Imagine you sitting the whole game, and then your team being up by a couple runs and being told in front of thousands of people to come up and throw 3 outs, and knowing that they're going to bring everything at you. I mean, that takes nerves of steel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It really dods.
Yeah, I really believe that Sean Kelly can do it. Is my back completely turned on Trinan? Not fully. Yeah. If Trinan can do well in the 7th to 8th, that bridge area, when we need the help, if he can start doing that, then maybe he can start getting into the 9th. But for right now, I want to keep Sean Kelly there.
So do I. I'm a big Sean Kelly guy. I like Sean Kelly a lot.
Yeah, Coda Glover hasn't done bad at all as well.
He hasn't. I mean, those are like the only 2 guys though in our bullpen that have really done much. Yeah. I mean, that's such a weakness, and you see, like we tried to improve that a lot. Like last year when we traded for Melanson, I mean, and then he didn't want to re-sign with us. For some reason, nobody ever wants to go to the Nats.
It's weird.
It's very weird, but people need to start stepping up here shortly, or there is going to be some big changes made in that bullpen.
Oh yeah,
there has to be.
Sammy Solis is the guy that's a long-term relief.
Yeah.
If we get beat up if our pitcher gets beat up in the 5th, that's the guy we plug in to get us to the 7th and 8th to bridge us. But once we get to the 7th and 8th, that's where the problem, 7th, 8th, and 9th, that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
And we need to find a solution. I'm not sure if it's by the trade deadline or somebody in that bullpen needs to pucker up and do something.
Yeah.
And solidify yourself. Show that you mean something.
I think somebody stepping up obviously would be the ideal scenario, but that's probably highly unlikely. I mean, you'd like to see that, but I do think that they're going to have to end up making some trade, doing something, doing some move. But
but how many? I know we have a huge farm system, but we
got rid of so many players though this year. I mean, that's another thing.
The well is going to run dry.
It definitely is, especially pitching. I mean, we had one of the best pitching
staffs.
Pitching staffs, AA, single A. Thanks for that. No, but I mean, even with you can't keep this up with the Nationals with the way that their bullpen's playing. Right now, they're 13-5. They are first in the majors.
They are first in the majors. I'll give them that, but it's because they're hitting the heck out of the ball.
Exactly, and it's similar. It's similar to the Capitals. I mean, they might be very good during the regular season, but come playoff, that bullpen is going to get decimated. Be a major weakness.
People are going to take advantage of that, and they have to do something. They have to do something, and I don't know what it is, but somebody has to come up with a remedy. And I trust Dusty.
I love Dusty. I think Dusty.
He's a former Marine.
Yeah.
Hard guy.
Dusty, he's very old school.
Yeah.
Dusty is very old school.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that about Dusty. He's somebody you definitely need that as your manager. Those are usually the best kind of managers, I feel, besides like the whole Moneyball thing with the A's that works sometimes.
Yeah.
But Dusty's proven Dusty's a very good manager. Yeah. His teams are consistently good.
So I'm looking right now. Bryce Harper, his on-base percentage is .524. Half of his at-bats he's getting on base. It's either by walks or it's by hits.
You can tell with Harper, he was playing hurt last year.
Bryce Harper.
You know he was playing hurt last year.
Yeah.
He definitely was. I mean, you even look at his home runs now. Half of his home runs have been to deep center. He's not pulling the ball anymore.
He's back to his 2015
He's having fun, and I really do believe that last year was such like an anomaly. Like, why isn't Bryce playing that good? It's because he was hurt. He had to be. Yeah. He was. You could tell by the way he was swinging. And now he's healthy, and look at what he's doing with Murphy. Right. I remember always thinking last year, if we could have Harper how he was in 2015 with Murphy how he's playing right now, and now they're together, and you're seeing
maybe it's because he got engaged. He should have got engaged
Probably.
A long time ago.
Yeah, well, he's Mormon, too.
Yeah. I think he's been engaged to that girl like 3 times.
Yeah, but that means that he probably finally had sex. Maybe that's the key. Maybe I should finally have sex. I can be a pro athlete.
Just convert to Mormonism, man.
One day I'll do it. One day I'll make sex to a girl. But let's get back to Daniel Murphy a little bit.
Doesn't count, Mike.
Damn it. Well, that's fine. Sometimes I find that's better anyway.
What did you say? What do you want to get into?
Back to Daniel Murphy facing his former team. Murphy has now hit 7 home runs against the Mets. He had 6 home runs against them last year. Yeah. Max Scherzer said about Murphy, he wants to beat their brains in every time he faces the Mets. He shows up. so pissed at them for letting him go.
The best comparison I have for Daniel Murphy is Deshaun Jackson.
Oh, every
when
time
Deshaun
against
came
the
here,
Eagles,
he wanted to kill the Eagles, and you knew that he was going to have that bomb touchdown.
Deshaun was good for that once a game.
That's what
against
Murphy
the
does
Eagles.
against the Mets.
Exactly. And I mean, we do have another series coming up against the Mets again soon at Nats Park.
Yeah.
Coming up, we face the Rockies next. We're facing the Rockies right now currently.
Yeah, they're not.
Then after that, we're gonna host the Mets for a 3-game series at Nats Park. Those are gonna be big games.
Yeah.
So everybody make sure that you get out to those.
But of course, there's always a big Mets following in D.C. for some reason.
There is, and
I can't stand it. And they're all loud and annoying.
That's New York for you.
I don't
in
like
general.
it. It's so true.
That's just
isn't
New
it?
York.
No, I can't stand. They're not as bad as Philly though. Philly fans are the worst.
Nobody's as bad as Philly. You know it's bad if Bill Burr starts just ripping on you. Have you ever heard the Philadelphia incident where Bill Burr just started ripping Philadelphia?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Your one hero's a made-up sports boxer," and he's going on about him. And,
It's so true. They have a statue of him, and he was a movie character.
Yeah, you guys, they throw snowballs at Santa Claus.
They poured beer on Clinton Portis's mom.
I remember that. Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Dude, they are completely trash, man.
Philly, God.
Have you seen how many videos there are of Philly fans fighting each other?
They're known for it. They're known for it. They have a jail in their stadium now because so many people do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Philadelphia fans are the worst. And if you're a Philadelphia fan, you're listening to this, first of all, it's a DC Sportscast. Second of all, I hate you, and I hope that you guys go away.
Yeah.
Go back to Philadelphia.
So live in person, Philly fans are by far the worst. But on like social media, it goes to Dallas fans. I can't stand anybody.
Hands down.
Oh my god,
they're so biased. It's crazy. I'm not going to name names because it is for people who know sports. It's very embarrassing for this person to say this. Somebody who I know, and I'm going to say the string of things that he said. First of all, he said Tony Romo will be a first ballot Hall of Famer because he's better than Dan Marino. I said, how is he better than Dan Marino? He said his stats were better. I said, how are his stats better? Did he have more passing yards, more touchdowns, higher completion percentage? What did he do? And, and I read him the stats off NFL.com. No, dude, that's fake. No, it's not fake. It's known. Dan Marino is completely different than Tony Romo. Tony Romo is a very good quarterback. Then he also went on and was saying that Cole Beasley is a better slot receiver than Wes Welker ever was.
Ridiculous.
Statistically. Wes Welker changed the position of a slot receiver recently.
Well, nobody remembers that Wes Welker was in Miami balling out, and New England said, you know what, we need that guy.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just stuff like that. Dallas fans, like, I get it. The Cowboys have that sex appeal with the whole, like, America's team thing, which, by the way, technically shouldn't have been the Cowboys. Little known fact, the NFL came to the Rooneys to be America's team.
Yeah.
They turned it down. They wanted the Steelers to be America's team. They said, no, we're Pittsburgh's team. Yeah. Cowboys jumped all over the America's team. Yeah. So now they call themselves that. You know, I mean, they got that star at school. They won Super Bowls in the 90s. You don't care. If you're a Cowboys fan in this area, it's either A, because your dad was a Redskins fan and he left and you hate him, or B, you wanted to pick winning teams growing up and you're probably also a Yankees fan, a Lakers fan, and a Duke basketball fan.
The one thing this is the last thing we're going to talk about it because we're going to have our own segment with the Redskins, but the one thing I'll say about Tony is not even the best QB in your franchise's history.
No.
Staubach is. And so
Aikman's number 2.
Yeah, get off of this pedestal you're on. Tony is not that good. And for the Dallas Mavericks to be parading him around in a Dallas jersey shooting the ball, that is embarrassing.
That is
embarrassing. What are you, a 5-year-old?
I understand he had a good relationship with that city, but he plays a completely different sport.
It's embarrassing.
Come on, man. What did he do for you besides choke away games?
Yeah.
And people say, well, Tony Romo, he actually has a good amount of fourth-quarter comebacks. Okay, that's fine. How many playoff games did he win?
Yeah, you know what's ridiculous is that they paraded Tony Romo around in the jersey and all that. How about you make it a Make-A-Wish Foundation? Make it one of those kids that actually deserve to be out in the spotlight and to be used camera time on.
Yeah.
Instead, we're using on Tony Romo, who just retired. What are we rewarding you for?
Like Tony Romo's not rewarded enough. He's thought of in glory by Cowboys fans, and he dates the hottest chicks. I remember when he was dating Jessica Simpson when she was hot. After Nick Lachey, but before she got fat. And it's unreal, man. Like, he's not even a good-looking dude.
And people are like, he's not a choke artist. He's not a choke artist. Okay, not only look at his playoff games, but look at his golf career.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly. He can't make the cut. He can't make the cut.
He's also Tony Romo's a Duke basketball fan too.
Yeah,
of course he is.
Yeah,
of course he is.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a Lakers fan too.
That's how they are.
That's how all Cowboys fans are, dude.
It's all.
I work with a guy who's a Cowboys fan, and he was talking crap to me the other day. He was like, "How about them Cavaliers?" Oh my god, Just get out of my face.
Let me guess.
Yeah, get out of my face.
Oh my God, they're probably also their second team is probably the Seahawks. They also like Golden State too, though, a little bit.
Yeah, I love it how my Cowboys are my number 1 team, but the Ravens are my number 2.
Yeah, get out of here. What? Now you have 2 teams.
I've been watching since like '94, man. Well, the Ravens weren't around till '98,
and that's another. People get on me because I'm not a Ravens guy, and it's not because I don't like the Ravens. A lot of time it is their fans. Like I get into it a lot with Ravens fans. I just do.
Yeah, I mean we all do.
Yeah, they're not known for being bad, but I mean they can. I'm sure we can be obnoxious.
It's just to us.
But
it's just Redskins.
Oh
fans.
yeah. But that's the same thing. I mean, they're always like, well, how come then you don't like a new team that came in here because you've been watching it for so long? Then how come you're a Nationals fan and not an Orioles fan? I'm like, first of all, I was never an Orioles fan growing up. I wasn't. When I was growing up, I just liked the game of baseball, and I liked players from different teams. Yeah. I was a Mariners fan for a year when I was a kid because of Ken Griffey. I liked the Orioles for a time because of Cal Ripken. Yeah. I liked all these different teams. Then the Nationals come in, and DC. I'm a DC sports fan. That's what I am. That's why it's there.
I was never an Orioles fan. I was a kid in a Cal Ripken jersey. My parents paraded me out there in the jersey and all that. Yeah. Didn't make me a fan. It was just my parents put me out there.
That's just what it was.
But when I played baseball in high school, one of the fundraisers they did is they gave us tickets to the Nats game against the Mets at RFK. Yeah. And I'll never forget that day, and that's the reason why I'm a Nats fan, because I was given the opportunity to go see DC sports, and I fell in love with it. I loved it. I loved the team that they had, and I just fell in love with them from there on out.
And I just hate it when people, oh, well, you jump on bandwagons. You're a Nationals fan. Yeah? Is that it? I'm sure that's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just a DC sports fan.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm not going to get back into it.
No, but
I'm
they're
not
the
going to
worst.
get back into it.
Although I will say, Camden Yards is the best sporting stadium that I've ever been to.
That's very true.
And that's, I mean, even though I'm not a big Orioles guy, I don't hate the Orioles.
Yeah.
I hate a lot of the fans, but Camden Yards is amazing.
Funny thing about Nats Park, my 21st birthday, one of our boys, his uncle, is very high up in the television industry, and he had seats right behind home plate, like 13 rows back.
Ryan.
Yeah. So we're celebrating our 21st. So we go to Bailey's. So we're there, and then my sister calls in from Salisbury. She's like, "Get him a Mexican mouthwash." I have no idea what that is, but it's like 4 tequilas. Oh, then my buddy Freddie shows up. Freddie gets me a 4 Horsemen. Oh. So I just started taking shots. It wasn't halfway down the highway that there was vomit everywhere in the car. On my 21st birthday, I never was even able to go to the game.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh, 4 Horsemen, that's enough. And then you have Mexican mouthwash? That's what Mexican mouthwash?
Yes.
Ugh.
It wasn't even. She called in. She called like, "Hey, what's up, Karina? Oh, hey, kick Kyle Mexican mouthwash. It's his birthday."
That's so gross. Yeah. And I'm a huge tequila guy.
Yeah.
I love tequila.
Really? Oh, it kills me.
Tequila's grown on me. I don't know what it is. I'm a big tequila guy.
I had a bad incident 2 weekends ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I finally just decided that I'm 27 years old and I still, honest to God, don't like the taste of beer. And like people, like I'm just tired of faking it now. Like I'm just tired of it. Like people, you want a beer? Like not really. Like I mean, yeah, I'll drink one, but I don't like the taste of beer. I just don't. I'm a big liquor guy.
I'll never forget. We went to a Nats game with Ryan, and they showed us like the press box, like his seats that his uncle had. We went up there, and I guess like the workers had left the room. And so I was like, oh, man, that's free booze. So I just started stuffing every pocket. I mean, I'm talking about sweatshirt. Everything was filled with brew.
I feel like you stuff your pockets a lot.
I
we were talking about that last week.
It's not a good trait of mine. Yeah. So we're walking out of the stadium, and one of the security guys stops me and goes, "Hey, man, what's in all your pockets?" And I was like, "It's chips, man. It's chips." And he reaches in my pocket. He's like, pulls out a beer, and he's like, "This is chips?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the only one. I'm out."
Yeah. In some countries, maybe. It might be chips. They got weird names for all sorts of shit in other countries.
Oh man! Before I was 21, I was sneaking into that bullpen across the street. Had one of my buddies talk to like the security guy up front, and I just jumped through that like little small window they had and just rolled right through. And somebody picked me up, and was like, "Let's get drunk."
Yeah, you know what's crazy about 21-year-olds? I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but last week, I was DJing up at where was I? No, I wasn't even DJing this time. I was just at Union Jacks in Rio. Not Rio. I'm sorry. The new Tommy Joe's in Kenlands. Mm-hmm. That's where I was. This dude who was with us, he's 23. He's trying to get in. The bouncer's checking our IDs. And he's like, "I'm sorry, man, you can't come in." The guy's like, "Why, man? I'm 23. He's like, "Yeah, but you still have a vertical ID. Like, you can't do that." And I was like in shock. I was like, "You're 20. You haven't gotten your ID changed for 2 years?" Like the morning I turned 21.
That can't be the first time he's been to a bar in 2 years.
Yeah, like they are supposed to turn that away anywhere.
Immediately.
Yeah, I was just like, "What?
What planet do you live on?"
How long have you been 21? Obviously, 3 years.
Dude, on my 21st birthday, I went immediately there and changed it and flipped it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't waste any time. This guy wasted 2 years.
I did it the next night, and that was because the night that I went out for my 21st birthday, I was just, it's my 21st, I haven't got it changed yet. And they're all cool about it. They're like, all right, we'll let it slide this once. And then literally the next morning, hungover as shit, I just went to the DMV and got it changed.
You threw up everywhere.
Yeah. Well.
I'm a throw-upper, dude. That's
Are you?
All I do.
You're a big puker?
Yeah, I'm a huge puker.
Yeah. I'm not. If anything, I've never thrown up.
What?
Never in my life.
What do you like, Will Ferrell in that one basketball movie, Jackie Moon?
Yep, I've never puked. I'm just kidding. No, I puke all the time.
PBS did a story on me. I can't buy it.
Yeah, I was in the newspapers. Will Ferrell.
My goodness.
Such a funny dude.
Right. All right, so I never got this, but I wanted your prediction of the Nats this year.
I think the Nats are going to win 100-plus games, but, I mean, they're such a talented team. I mean, they really are. They have depth.
Yeah.
Their offense is going to be fine. They're starting pitching as long as they stay healthy. I mean, as long as Strasburg stays healthy, they'll be good.
Yeah.
Gio's playing very good so far. I don't think he's going to keep that up, but, I mean, our starting pitching is going to be fine with Scherzer, all these guys. The bullpen's the one thing that scares me, though, but I do still think that they will probably win about 99 to 100
I have them
games.
just below 100, and only because of the bullpen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because their bats are not going to be this hot all the time. That just doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't. It's going to be impossible for Harper to keep up what he's doing, obviously, but him and Murphy are still going to, I predict them to be very good this year.
Murphy is the definition of consistency.
He is. He really is. And, I mean, it's weird, too, though, because when he was with the Mets, he was decent. I mean, he was never as good as he was last year, but then he had that playoff series. Yeah. That playoffs where he was just hitting home runs every night.
He just stayed that.
And then we
until
signed
next
him,
season.
and we're like, well, I mean, at least we'll have like a good, decent guy. And we signed, and he just played out of his mind.
Steinberg just came out with an article, I think yesterday or the day before, of what Murphy wanted to be when he was a kid. He wanted to be an insurance salesman.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Wow. Most
kids want to be
aspiration
astronauts.
I want to be somebody who everybody hates.
Right. I want to be an insurance person.
Everybody hates. What?
Can you imagine like being a dad and hearing your kid like, I want to work in insurance?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna be a pro baseball player.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do it. Yeah. How dare you make this kid do that?
Right.
That's basically like saying I want to work for a collection agency when I get older and call everybody 4 times a day.
I want to work for the IRS.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's embarrassing, man. Why would he ever even let that get out?
I don't know.
At least lie and say like a Ninja Turtle or something. At least that sounds cool.
I want to be a Ninja Turtle.
Like, come on, man. What?
Another guy is Adam Eaton. I mean, he's second in walks for us.
Yeah.
This is the guy who just sees the full count.
Eaton, I know that we did give up a lot for Eaton. I mean, we completely wiped out our minor leagues.
But he's still
basically.
hitting .284, which is great. But on our team, it looks bad just because of how well we're hitting.
Last season, Eaton actually finished with an MVP vote, and he was with the White Sox with a losing team, and they were terrible.
Wow.
Eaton's very good. He's very underrated. He played for the White Sox, and not a lot of people knew about him. I mean, if you knew baseball, you did. But I mean, if you're just watching, Sports Center,
the White Sox snuck like a World Series in like the mid 2000s.
Yeah, random,
and nobody remembers it.
The White Sox are going to be in like 3-4 years. The White Sox should be so good.
Really?
Look at all the pieces that they got from the
Nats,
Reds, from the Nationals, and from the Red Sox for Chris Sale. I mean, they literally have, I think, 3 of the top 5 players in the minors right now.
Really?
Like, I mean, they're just stacked.
They're like the Nationals 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're going to keep, I mean, in a few years, man, they're going to be, I mean, we gave them Giolito. I mean,
Lucas even came out last year. He wasn't doing well. He wasn't throwing strikes.
A lot of him is based off of the stuff that he has, his type of pitching, like his curveball, like just his all that. But he really hasn't been like even in the minors, he had a high ERA. I mean, when he came up last year, you could tell he got flustered. Yeah. I mean, he did good for a couple innings, and then he got flustered. His stuff is his potential is more based on the stuff that he has, and if he ever puts it together mentally, that'll be huge.
He's one of those guys that's like great on paper.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that happened to the Nationals was that they put him on the national scale and let him pitch in the pros, and it showed how bad he was, and then now his price dropped.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those people where if he was in a video game, like his curveball would be rated in the 90s, his fastball would be high, all that stuff.
But in real life, he's getting hit every pitch.
His awareness would be like a 5.
Yeah.
Like it'd just be like, all right, well, you have potential. But
yeah, you have potential.
You have potential. That'll be, ugh. All right, well, we are actually right about the 45-minute point. We're going to get ready to wrap this up, and then we're going to be back with our second episode here shortly, which we're going to be following the Redskins offseason and the NFL draft, which is on Thursday. A lot of news.
Can we get into NFL fantasy?
We can get into NFL fantasy. Okay. We can do that in the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, because that's going to be a huge thing of ours throughout the summer to spread this all out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I know you got the drunkies and all that stuff, so
yeah,
we're going to – I just wanted to plug it because I'm like a nice guy.
Thank you.
But yeah, we do got to get into some fantasy. I mean, this draft is going to impact a lot. There's a lot of good players coming out.
Oh yeah, like I would love to hear your top 5 of. It doesn't matter what team they are, but a top 5 of the offensive guys, or who you think is going to ball out next year in fantasy.
Okay, yeah.
Who's going to score the most?
When we take this little 10-minute break, we can go ahead and do that.
Awesome.
All right, well, guys. Thank you guys for listening to episode number 3. We're going to be back here shortly with episode number 4. We're going to post
episode 3.5
or 3.5, however you want to look at it. I'm no mathematician, so I don't know what that I don't know what that means. But we're going to wrap this one up, and then we'll be posting this shortly, and we'll be posting part 2 in just a little bit. Thank you guys for listening.
Thanks everybody.
Love you.
Redskins football. Woo!